Hello, I'm Grace. The May employment data, released in early June 2026, serves as a critical signal capable of halting the breath of the Korean economy. The number of employed persons fell by 40,000, marking a negative shift for the first time in a year and a half. This development, occurring for the first time since December 2024, clearly indicates signs of economic cooling. The most significant issue is the sharp contraction in manufacturing. A reduction of 140,000 manufacturing jobs accounts for the bulk of the overall decline. This marks a 23-month streak of decreases, representing the steepest drop since 2019. Despite the semiconductor boom, job losses stem from supply chain instability. Prolonged tensions in the Middle East disrupted exports, dealing a blow to the manufacturing sector. A deterioration in the global trade environment has contracted domestic production activities. The employment situation for young people is also severely concerning. The number of employed youth aged 15 to 29 fell by 255,000. This represents the largest drop since January 2021, exposing structural vulnerabilities. Overall employment indicators declined in tandem. The unemployment rate rose by 0.1 percentage point to 2.9%. The employment rate fell by 0.5 percentage point to 63.3%, raising concerns about shrinking consumer spending. These figures signify more than mere statistics. They reflect a stagnation in daily life. A manufacturing downturn directly translates into local economic contraction. Regions with a high concentration of manufacturing industries are expected to suffer even greater impacts. Rising youth unemployment creates a vicious cycle that shrinks domestic consumption. As incomes fall, household expenditures contract, further deepening the economic downturn. This is why fears are being raised that this is not a simple cyclical fluctuation, but a prolonged slump. Compared to past cases, this decline reveals structural problems. It is highly likely that this is not a temporary shock, but rather long-term employment stagnation. If policy responses are delayed, the pace of economic recovery will inevitably slow. The easing of Middle East tensions and the ripple effects of semiconductors will be key factors moving forward. However, the prevailing analysis suggests that structural transformation is needed rather than short-term recovery. Urgent fundamental improvements to the employment structure are required over temporary stimulus measures. The most urgent task is creating jobs for young people. Rather than relying on existing industrial structures, new growth engines must be established. This is a moment demanding swift and effective responses from policymakers. The weak May employment data could be a canary in the coal mine for a turning point in the Korean economy. We must be vigilant to prevent concerns about shrinking consumer sentiment and economic stagnation from becoming reality. A systematic strategy for sustainable employment recovery appears necessary. I'm Grace, thanks for watching.